Hello students, today we will continue our second part of chapter 1 Introduction to DBMS. Here I will cover simple database system, then comparison of database management systems and file system. After that, levels of abstraction like view level, logical level and physical level. Next, data independence, and in that two types of data independence are there, like physical data independence and logical data independence. So let's start it. In previous video we discussed about database management system, which is a software system that allows user to define, manipulate and process the data in a database in order to produce meaningful information. The basic functions of database management systems are: it stores data in a database, organize the data, control access of data is provided, and also protect the data by providing security. The process of DBMS is defining, constructing, and then manipulating, where defining involves specifying the data type, structure, and constraints for the data that is to be stored in a database. Whereas constructing means a process of storing the data itself on some storage media controlled by database management system. Whereas manipulating means functions like querying the database to retrieve specific data, update the data in a database, etc. By using all the basic concepts of database management systems, now we see how simple database system functions. So in general, user can write programs or queries. Then these queries are given to database system. Database system accepts these application programs or queries and forward it to DBMS software. Then this software processes these queries or programs by accessing the stored data. This data is already stored in the database. The DBMS software uses either stored database definition, that is metadata, or database only. Here metadata means data about data. It is a data dictionary which contains schema of database. Here schema means a structure. It contains structure of database. Like this, a simple database system will process the user queries or programs. Next topic is comparison of database management system and file system. First point is definition. The definition of DBMS is a collection of interrelated data and software programs to access those data. Whereas file system is, it stores data in plain text file, and here records are specified in a single line. Records are stored on a single line in file system. Next point is data redundancy. Data redundancy means data duplication. In DBMS, there is no problem of data redundancy, whereas in file system, it is the main problem. Then next is cost. In DBMS, softwares are very costly and regular updates makes it costly, whereas in file system, it is cost effective. Then next is use or user. Here in database management system, it is multi-user system, whereas file system is single user system. Here in file system, single user can access the files at a time, Whereas in DBMS, at a time, multiple users can access the data from the storage. Next is data access. In DBMS, data access is efficient, whereas in file system it is difficult one. Next point is concurrent access. Concurrent access and crash recovery is possible. Now here concurrent access means uh, simultaneously many systems can access the data at a time. That is called as concurrent access, and whenever any type of crash occurs like natural disasters or power failures, etc., these these from this crash database management system mm, recovers here, whereas in file system simultaneous multiple systems cannot access the files, and it's not possible because it is a single user system. Security, it provides better security, means database management system provides security by providing passwords, etc., whereas in file system there is a security problem. Then transaction. This transaction concept is very important concept in database management system. Here in file system this transaction concept is not used. Next is levels of abstraction. A DBMS is a collection of interrelated files and set of programs that allows users to access and modify these files. The main purpose of DBMS is to provide users with an abstract view of data. So here data abstraction means hiding the implementation details from the end users. It hides the complex details of how data is stored on the secondary storage devices in DBMS. Here in this diagram, different views are there and different users at a time access the database, and after that there is conceptual level is there and physical level is there, and through this your data is going to be stored into a database. If you see this diagram, second diagram, here many application programs at a time they are running and they are using this data storage, and they are handled by the database management system. These are handled by this DBMS. So here in between this, there are conceptual level is there and physical level is there. But DBMS users who are using this uh, database management system, they do not know this conceptual level and physical level in between this. There is an abstract view of this, means there is complex details are hidden from the user. They only know that their data is going to be stored in a database there. So this is called as data abstraction. There are three levels of data abstraction, that is view level, then conceptual, or it is also called as logical level, then physical level. Now what is view level? In multi-user system, many users do not use whole database but read some field of it. For security purpose, DBMS allows to create different views of single table. For example, ATM machines where many users can access ATM from different places and they see only their personal transaction details. So in this diagram, in view level, there are many users are there, and different types of users are accessing the database where data is to be stored. So many types of users are there and they are accessing the database is called as view level. Another example is employee information is stored in a database suppose, and company wants to access uh, the details of employees, where that employee information contains employee ID, employee's name, salary, etc. So if user A is there and user B is there, user A wants to access only employee ID and name details, whereas user 2 wants to access employee ID and salary details. So these users can see two different views, but they access the same database here. This is view level in DBMS, which describes how users see the data. View level access is provided by DBA. The DBA is the database administrator who administers the whole database system. Next is conceptual or logical level. You already know that database is a collection of tables which consist of records. Here, the structure of each table is specified in terms of its attributes. Attribute means fields. These fields or attributes has its type, means which type of data that attribute will store. It is called its logical structure. So, conceptual or logical level defines logical structure, that is what data is stored in a database. This level is also decided by DBA, that is database administrator. This level describes the relationship between various tables. Next is physical level. Now this physical level is the low level. This level describes how the data is stored in a database. This level defines the data structure used to store the data on secondary storage device. So these are the different levels of abstractions are there. That is view level, conceptual or logical level, and physical level. Next topic is data independence. A database system normally contains a lot of data in addition to users' data. For example, it stores data about data, that is metadata, which will locate and retrieve data easily. It's difficult to modify or update a set of metadata once it is stored in a database, but as a DBMS expands, it needs to change over time to satisfy the requirements of the users. So if the entire data is dependent, it would become a tedious and highly complex job. So metadata itself follows a layered architecture, so that when we change the data at one layer, it does not affect the data at another level. This data is independent but mapped to each other. So in this diagram, when we change physical schema, it does not affect on logical schema, or when we change logical schema, it does not affect the physical schema. So this metadata follows this layered architecture, and the definition of data independence is it means the property to change the overall logical or physical structure of data without changing the application programs or view of data. So whenever we can make changes in physical schema or a logical schema, it does not affect your program or application view of data. That is data independence. There are two types of data independence: logical or conceptual data independence, and second, physical data independence. So one by one, we are going to discuss here these two types of data. First type is physical data independence. It is the power to change the physical data without impacting the schema or logical data, and it has the capacity to change the physical schema without having to change in logical or view schema. So changes in the physical schema may needed because some physical files have to be reorganized to improve the performance. Suppose employee table with attribute employee ID, name and salary is already created. So the table is employee, which contains three attributes: employee ID, employee name and salary, and it contains different records. Now suppose I want to add new attribute employee address to the database without disturbing the records in without disturbing the records. So this is called as physical data independence. That is the power to change the physical data without impacting the schema or logical data. Next type is logical or conceptual data independence, which will store information about how data is managed inside. Overall logical structure of data may be changed without changing the application program, and it is a kind of mechanism which liberalizes itself from actual data stored on the disk. If we do some changes, it should not change the data residing on the disk. Means it has capacity to change the logical schema without having to change the view or application programs. For example, attributes from different tables are considered and those attributes queries are written. Here, attribute name, table name are properly selected and written, otherwise results may not appear with required format. Basically, data independence is advantageous in database without affecting other levels. So let's summarize this session. In this session, we discussed simple database system, then comparison of database management systems and file system. After that, levels of abstraction such as view level, logical level and physical level. Then data independence and its types such as physical data independence and logical data independence. Remaining part of this chapter we are going to discuss it in next video. Have a nice day. Thank you. Thank you very much.